Hello and welcome. Thank you all for coming by. I really appreciate you. Oh, absolutely. Please like, share, and subscribe. The Goddess Tulsa Show. Welcome. Please like, share, and subscribe. Now is the time to go ahead and get ready for the show. We have some great news for you. Okay? We're going to have a great time. So I really, really, really appreciate you and your dedication to showing up. Gratitude. Don't be afraid to hit that cash app. And don't forget to smash that like button. Hello, everybody, and thank you all for coming out to the Goddess Queen Tulsa show. I'm your host, Queen Tulsa. And I want to say, if you are a new subscriber, I want to thank you for subscribing. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for returning and thank you for your loyalty. I first want to drop the news that we all know about Shanquella Robinson and her death, and it's all over social media. I think that everybody is is up in their emotions, up in their feelings, right? And which is expected to be. However, you have content creators out here that are trying to divide the trans and the heterosexual community. And I'll say them as a whole. And the reason why I say that is because, people have their own perspective on trans women. And, some people have their own beliefs, oh, you wasn't born a woman, you can't have kids, you're not worthy, you're not this, you're not that. However, I did want to go ahead and ease up with some light content, and we're going to dive into the real content. So let's get into this. A little motivation before we start. What do you guys think about that?
If you're living your own life, if you are who you are and you know who you are and you live working towards realizing your mission in life, every sound of it out of your mouth is a prayer. Every gesture you make is a prayer. Every dance you dance is a prayer. And when you make love with somebody, you are praying. If you know who you are and this person knows who they are, there isn't anything that you do that is not a prayer when you know who you are.
All right. So that was just to crack the ice, know who you are, you know, don't let nobody come in and try to persuade you on anything other than that. I do want to bring up this article because Shanquilla's friend from college, um, was murdered. And his perpetrator was a female. It says 21-year-old woman charged with murder after man shot in parked car in Charlotte. And this was on December 17th of 2020. Charlotte, North Carolina police have charged a 21-year-old woman with murder days after finding a man shot in a parked car in Charlotte. CMPD detectives have charged 21-year-old Stony Asbury with murder of the death for the death of 23-year-old John Tavius Hall. Right? So John Tavius Hall was one of Shanquella's good friends from college. Hey, Couture Bay, how are you? Hey, Chad. Hey, Queen Tulsa. Hey, sister, how are you? I'll drop the link just in case you want to come up at any given time. I'm actually going over the Shanquella's case, and I found out that Shanquella had lost her best friend in 2020. And not even that, there was a text message, well, not a text message, but a post on her Facebook page, and it's real deep. It's real deep. Like it goes deep. It really goes deep. So you have um just a lot going on with this case, right? And then you have Shaquilla's one of her friends, he was unalived. He was unalived by this female. But I'll go ahead and I'll continue to read the article. Yeah, that is sad. And she had made a post like, can't really can't really trust certain people nowadays, or it was something to that effect that I saw online. And I said, well, it only shows Shanquella's personality. Like, I hadn't heard anybody come out and say, oh my gosh, she was just this horrible person. You know, I haven't heard anybody speaking out bad about her. But we'll keep reading. According to Charlotte Mecklenburg police, they were conducting a traffic stop around midnight on December the 13th at the intersection of Pavilion Boulevard and University City Boulevard. Officers say they heard gunshots and went to figure out where they came from. Police say they found Hall with gunshot wounds in a car that was parked in a parking lot on Corway Street. Medic pronounced him dead a short time later. As a result of continued investigation, homicide unit detectives identified Asbury as a suspect in this case and warrants were issued for her arrest. On December 17, 2020, police arrested Asbury following an interview. Asbury was taken into McClurkenburg County Sheriff's Office and charged with murder and conspiracy to commit murder. The investigation into this case is active and ongoing. Anyone with information about this incident is asked to call 704-432-TIPS and speak directly to a homicide unit detective. The public can also have information, can leave information anonymously with Crime Stoppers at 704-334-1600. So I don't know the vibe that's in Charlotte, but it seems like it's very aggressive. And to see these women, these articles about women, being the face of these crimes. You have Dejanay on camera going in on Shanquella, going in on Shanquella. I mean, just really tearing her to pieces, really tearing off into her. I think it's sad. I don't think anybody deserves the that type of treatment at all. Beautiful woman, beautiful soul. And I'm also hearing that it was around, I guess, some of the friends' jealousy were about Shanquilla because they were playing a game. And whatever this game was, it was, the question was send hate mail or something like that. And apparently Shanquilla had made comments about, Dejanay being broke, whatever. She paid her way on the trip. But Shanquilla had funded the whole trip. And I really feel like in this investigation, Nazir is going to be the one that gets the the deal because he came out, he was trying to clear himself. So that's going to be the first person that the FBI is going to want to speak to, in my opinion. Now, when you talk about jealousy and rage and, this divide, well, I want to bring up this content from another content creator. And of course, she had, got the facts wrong like most of us did. Someone had created a thumbnail to make it look like that this woman was trans. And so pretty much what that was to do was to take the focus off of the case and focus on, putting some violence towards the trans community. And this is just my opinion. So what I want to do is I'm going to bring this video up, and this is at Cafe of Knowledge. And I want to listen and dissect some of her commentary. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and play it. You guys, let me know if you are in the chat. Please press a number 7 if you would like for me to play the content. I just need some audience participation if you don't mind. Let's get into it.
Told T.S. Madison said, "Well, you know what? You talk about everything else. How come you're not talking about this?" And they was trying to put it like, "Oh, uh, a trans woman jumped on Shanquella, so why you haven't spoke on a story about a trans woman jumping on trans uh, Shanquella?" Well, we all know that that's a tale and that's fake news because she's not. But T.S. Madison hadn't. She said she was traveling so much that she didn't get a chance to really follow the story.
Okay, so if we all know T.S. Madison, us as subscribers, and us that were just put onto her, T.S. Madison has been working gigs. Now, I won't bring up our conversations, but T.S. Madison has been busy. Sometimes I will send her something and she doesn't open it because, she's working, she doesn't have her phone by her, and she's usually studying her lines. So if you guys didn't know, T.S. Madison has been getting roles after roles after roles. And like I said, when I reach out to T.S. Madison, she may not respond right away. Do I get offensive? Do I feel a certain type of way? No, because I know that once time permits, that she's going to respond back to my messages, right? Right. All right. So back to Miss Thing Thing. Let's get into it.
So when somebody sent her this and said, "Oh, you talk about everything else or whatever, how come you not speaking on this?" So then that's when she got onto her social media and she said this. Okay? And she got on her social media and she wanted to reply to that person, I guess, who was
Okay. So yeah, let's get into it. T.S. Madison says, now, why would someone even start that kind of lie on a trans person? And you people immediately believe that bogus shit. That was not true. No transgender woman beat Shanquella to the punch. It was one of her own. You people immediately ran with that. I do agree. How I took it when T.S. Madison said that it's one of your own, it was one of your heterosexual, biological, cisgender women that put the pause on her. Let's talk about it. And whether T.S. Madison says something, damn if she do, damn if she don't, because you guys are always going to find a way to try to tear down her story, try to find a way to make her look bad. She's only one person. Let's talk about y'all trying to hold her accountable as a celebrity. Have y'all been in the other celebrities' DMs asking for their outcry and their outpour, and what do they have to say on it?
Question her about why she's so quiet about this case, and they haven't heard her say anything about Shanquella's case at all. And she's just being very quiet. So normally you speak, but how come you're not speaking now? That's basically how the person put it to T.S. Madison. And then T.S. Madison said that on the post. She did a post and said, now, why would someone even start that kind of lie on a trans person? And you people immediately believe that.
All right, let's go ahead and get this out the way. Copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. What are we doing? Research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. This video was made for entertainment purposes and is transformative in nature, and all things are alleged. Now let's get into it. Couture says she chose the funeral day to post that she is entitled to her thoughts. She didn't even say RIP, condolences, or nothing. I understand what you're saying, but you have to understand is I get that, but understand a different point of view. Understand the point of view of people were sending her things and she wasn't able to look at them or respond to them right away. And so when she did, Lord forbids that it just happened on the day that Shanquella was being buried. I don't think that Madison was being malicious. I mean, just being 100 um with the relationship that I have with her, and I'll always throw that out there. I'm just a content creator in Oklahoma, right? This woman is all the way in Atlanta, Georgia, and sometimes she's traveling around. I've sent messages to her and reached out to her and have gotten help. That's just like with Hope Giselle. I think that people are trying to hold them to a high standard and forgetting that they are human as well. And sometimes they may not get the content right away. But I think it's a conversation that doesn't need to be dismissed. I think that she cleared it up.
Bogus ish, right? She said that was not true. No transgender woman beat at Shanquella Robinson to death. It was one of her own. You people immediately ran with that lie. Okay? So T.S. Madison said that she got beat by one of her own. Okay? So that kind of rubbed a lot of people in the wrong way. But I do agree with her saying, why would someone even start that kind of lie on a trans person? I do agree with her on that. But then where everybody had a big problem with is when she said she was beat by her own. Okay? And like she was no trans woman beat at Shanquella to death. It was one of her own. And then she put her own in caps. Okay? And that's when it seemed like all hell broke loose. And it became a big confrontation, uh, a big beef now between the trans women and women.
Okay, so we do have women out here inciting violence and putting out false narratives about this case and with the trans community, right? So I'm going to speed this up right quick so we can get down to the nitty gritty of how Miss Thing is about to get very shady and separate T.S. Madison from the experience in general, from speaking from her time stamp to it all. So let's get into it.
That's being had for women, which this was so disappointing to see throughout T.S. Madison's posts, because a lot of things that were said in there and a lot of things that were said in the video, you bitches this, you bitches that. A lot of it felt like some ill will feelings for women.
Okay, so let me play devil advocates right quick. You know what I'm saying? Okay, me as me with my homegirls, right? Or me and my homegirls, we together. We call each other, the B word sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But it's in our space. It's not like, oh my God, doing it in a malicious way. And I feel like us as females, some of us talk like that. I particularly been working on the B word and not saying it because I am trying to transition out of that word. But sometimes, ladies, we can, call each other the B word and it's not, you know, taken as, oh my God, she's ready to fight me or something like that. I feel like some women, they overdo it with that and they want to cause the divide because some of these women have no clue as to how trans women are thriving, how they are being, confident in doing them. And it's like, sis, a confident woman doesn't put another confident woman down. And I have plenty of confident sisters in my tribe. This is from the US, this is to Jamaica, this is all over the world. You get what I'm saying? So let's look at it at that way in a perspective. Hey, Deborah Nichols, how are you? I'll drop the link in a minute. I do want to hear from the cisgender women. How do you guys feel about T.S. Madison, her response, and her engagement with this case of Shaquella Robinson? I'll go ahead and play some more of the content. Let's get into it.
And like I said, maybe T.S. Madison meant well. She didn't mean it. But this situation still has to be addressed, you know, because in other words, I didn't speak up because it didn't involve any people in my community. That's what this whole post is giving to me. Like, oh, now y'all want me to speak up because y'all think it's a trans woman. Well, I know that it's not a trans woman because she says right here that that was not true. No transgender woman. So she knew that wasn't a trans woman. But
Now, listen here, guys. I know it's late night. It's the week. Oh, darn. Oh, what is going on? All right, guys. So I know it's the weekend and it's late, but if you are in a safe space, definitely go ahead and get your drinks together, refill them. We're going to go on a quick commercial break and we will be right back. Thank you all so much for supporting Queen Tulsa, the show, whether it's a like, a share, a subscribe, a Cash App, a PayPal, or a Zelle. Thank you for coming by and watching the show. And this is your commercial for being acknowledged for just being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Without you, who would be watching? Thank you for tuning in.
yet and still, everybody was asking her to speak out, and she didn't speak out. you know, and people have to understand it's our problem to speak. T.S. Madison to speak out for Shanquella Robinson anyway. So you have to understand she didn't say anything. She didn't even report on the story or nothing. She said she was busy. She was running around. Not that she didn't care, but it was that she was running around. She was real busy, so she didn't get a chance to say nothing on this story. It was somebody else who showed her that picture and requested that why you ain't saying nothing now that it came out that it's a trans woman, which is false. They was just picking with T.S. Madison, trying to spark up a beef, I guess, and she failed.
Well, if you guys know anything about the beef with TS Madison, like this particular YouTuber has a beef with TS Madison, right? I'm not gonna say her name, but I will reference her as Magilla. Magilla has been after T.S. Madison's coattail since the 90s. Like, this woman is so pressed. She's so upset about T.S. Madison thriving and making these moves. And this woman actually went and tried to befriend T.S. Madison's ex co host, Kaya. And so it's been a drag fest for, I want to say like a couple of years now that this lady just constantly makes videos about T.S. Madison. I mean, just seriously, it seems like she has a hard on for T.S. Madison. T.S. Madison is making her own moves, doing thriving, and this woman sits in her basement and conjure up stories. Oh, call her T.S. Manhands and all these other derogatory slurs. So that's where the energy comes from. I wouldn't be surprised if this woman wasn't a follower of Magilla, but let's get into it.
For the bait, you know. And but you have to understand, people, when people don't say nothing and it's something major going on and people don't say nothing, y'all have to pay very close attention to when it's silence, because silence speak 1,000 words. Sometimes silence tell you all you need to know. And you have to understand that when people don't say nothing, so you have to pay more attention to the silent people than you do the people who are advocating and talking out loud. You have to then stop and say, wait a minute, now who all haven't said anything? Or who all that? And you have to base things from there. Who all haven't said anything? Because silence do speak 1,000 words. Okay. Now, we as Black women and Black men, we birth the Chantellas in the world. And we birth most of the people.
And this is where the division comes in because now she's trying to paint a narrative to say, without saying, hey, heterosexual people, we got to come together. Hey, heterosexual people that can have children, that are producing, that are being fruitful. Hey, I need you over here. This is a straight call. She's straight calling. She's heterosexual calling to her audience. Hey, we got a problem. Biological cisgender men, cisgender women, biological this. Let's get into it.
Who was filming and in that room attacking Shanquella or filming Shanquella. We did that. Black men and Black women birthed a lot of these Shanquillas around here. We birthed a lot of the people who were standing around in that room with Shanquella. We birthed the ones who was filming Shanquella. Okay.
But if you can see, she wants to keep the trans community out of the conversation. She wants to keep the trans community out of the conversation as much as she possibly can. And that's where the divide starts. Now it's, hey, straight people, we gotta fight. We gotta pull it in together. We gotta stand up on this one. Oh, we gotta go after them. That's not right. But you have women like this that will incite and conjure up a plan and then execute it. Let's get into it. I want you guys to get into her tone as well. And remember earlier she said, people will show you who they are. Just let them talk. Well, I think that she's going to let us know a lot about her in this video. Let's go off.
Okay, so it's up to black women and black men, black teens, black children to speak up for Shanquella and speak up for justice in this case. Okay, get some straightening in what we birth, because it's us that birthed the Shanquellas. It's us that birthed the guys that was in the room with Shanquella.
So just because you birth someone, like if you just because you're able, let's just say this, just because you're able to have a baby, that makes you more valuable than the next human being out here. And what she failed to realize is people, when y'all be like, oh, you're trans and you can't have kids and all this and that, you really need to just go take a nap. Like, go take a permanent nap, because it's like, what in the blazing bejesus would make that something like that fly out of your mouth? Do you not see Shamia Morton, Candy's best friend? They got a surrogate. Like, come on. But this is the ignorant, some of the ignorant black people, they think like this. That's what I be seeing. Like, some people's elevator don't go all the way to the top. They don't leave the basements.
It's us that birthed the one who was attacking Shanquella. It's us that birthed the ones who was filming Shanquella. Okay, so it's time for us to get some straightening with our own children. Okay, and stop looking for somebody else to validate and step in to help us control our children or speak up for our children. No, 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 no. That's our fault. And that's our responsibility as black men and black women. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know if y'all seen it. I went out with my
Okay, so I have a question. Just because I have a daughter, does that mean that I can't fight for her rights? Because, that ain't my biological daughter. People, they will try to serve it up as many ways as they can. Black people, wake up, wake up, wake up.
my LGBTQ friends. We went out to a club, and yes, I do go to the LGBTQ clubs because I have friends and family members that's a part of that community, and I also go to straight clubs. But at the same LGBTQ community and trans friends talked about this same thing when it came out, and they was putting up this picture about that girl Dejanay is so-called a trans girl. We all talked about it and we all laughed. We said, yeah, she do got a hard face now. She do got a hard face, and she fight like a dude, but she's a woman. But none of my trans friends or LGBTQ friends got offended because that came out like that. That picture was floating around. None of them got offended. And I'm so glad that they have that type of personality where they didn't even get offended at that. They were just like, yeah, that ain't true. You could tell that's a woman. That's all they were saying, and I was saying you could tell that's a woman, but it is disrespectful for somebody to put something like that out, point blank, period. But the point is, we was all saying, yeah, she do got a hard face. But I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I don't know if y'all ever seen it or ever will see it, but honey, it's some women that do fight like a dude. They throw some punches like a dude, and I know they have said I'm one of them. It's some women out here that throw punches like a dude. And
But this is my thing right here. Where is the outrage for the individuals involved? Why are we pointing the outrage to people that had nothing to do with the crime? I think that the outcry and the rage should be directed to those that were involved, those 6 that were with her. That's who we should be upset with. We shouldn't be upset, "Oh, this person, they didn't oh, they didn't come out and say this. Oh, they didn't come out and just say that." Well, what other people of the community are saying something? It's just gonna be regurgitated. We all gave our condolences. This is a what y'all fail to realize is trans women, some of us, you know, some of us, we have sisters, we have aunts, we have a mother, we have grandmothers, we have good girlfriends. So to sit up here and be like, "Oh my God, trans women are just this, they are that," the ones that you're encountering, you can't put everybody in a box. That's just like this woman that's speaking. Just because she speaks like that, I'm not gonna look at every woman after her and say, "Oh my God, this is how." Now I already know your type and this, that. I'm stereotyping her. I didn't give the new woman a chance to even break bread with me. You see what I'm saying? Jump into conclusions. That's what happens when you jump to conclusions. Let's get into it.
Lord forbid if that wig fall off, or somebody pull out that weave or whatever, and they looking straight rough, and sometimes be looking like a dude, and that go on both ends, a trans end and a woman end. When you get into it and somebody snatch that wig off your head, you ain't looking too far from the dude. Some of them.
Well, how about we have you take off your wig? Because it really looks like you have on about 2 or 3. At first it's giving like a mushroom on the left, and then it's girl, but go off, sis. It's your look. I want you to do what you want to do. Listen here, when you got up this morning and you was in your womanhood, you said that I'm gonna be the best that I can be today. Well, hopefully you did. You put on your makeup, you put on your lipstick, you put on your boss chain, and you're acting like a hood rat. You're acting like a gutter snipe. You are. But go off.
Some of them out there, and they snatch that weed out your head, that weave. You ain't too far from looking like a dude. Oh yeah. So I don't know if y'all ever seen that, but I've seen that plenty of times when two women are throwing hands and that wig fall off, and you be like, wait a minute, Lord, is that a dude? No, that's a woman. Now we all know she's a woman, but Lord, she looking rough right about now when that wig fell off. So come on now. So let's not act like, that girl that we saw. You know what I'm saying? That we don't see that all the time. The one who was attacking Shanquella. Yeah, she hard as hell in the face now. But she's a woman. And it's a lot of hard face looking ass women around here. Hell, I might be one of them. But the point is, yeah, they throw hands like dudes. There's a lot of women out here throw hands like dudes. Look at Muhammad Ali's daughter. She throw hands like a dude. Yeah, Look at all these women boxers out here throwing hands like a dude. Yeah. So we come up off that. But we don't need validation from no one, people. Black women, black men, we don't need validation for nobody to talk up for us. We
Newscaster, who is of another color not to report on the story. Oh, we don't need y'all to cover our story, but ma'am, this is, we're doing our due diligence. Listen here, this ain't even a job for us. This is one of our sisters. It doesn't have to be a sister by blood. But this beautiful woman right here, she sparked an outrage. She sparked a conversation for people to have a conversation. And I don't think it matters who you are. Report on it. Call the Mexican embassy. Do your due diligence. Treat this as though if it was one of your family members. This is the people's problem. This is the people's problem. You always want to know what's going on. You always want to assume something. Get over it. Get over it. Get over it. Educate yourself. Do you want to be better or do you not? Can we please get those likes up, please? We're gonna go on a quick commercial break. We'll be right back, guys.
Thank you all so much for supporting Queen Tulsa, the show, whether it's a like, a share, a subscribe, a Cash App, a PayPal, or a Zelle. Thank you for coming by and watching the show. And this is your commercial for being acknowledged for just being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Without you, who would be watching? Thank you for tuning in.
Absolutely. Without you guys, who would be watching? I want to thank you all for definitely showing us sister some love and showing up. I'm out here doing the work, and I'm not out here doing it for an applause. I'm doing it because this is what we need to be doing. We need to be speaking up. Instead of going against one another, we need to be coming together. Listen here, we are a force as Black people. We could come together and really put those differences aside. We are the we spend the most money. We spend the most money. Come on now. Just think about me supporting your business, you supporting my business. We get to support their business. We get to support their soul food restaurant. We get to support this black bank. We get to support this black hotel. Come on now, y'all. We got to wake up. But what this is okay, so I'm going to let this play. This woman is about to let y'all know how it goes down in her hood, in her thinking. Let's get it.
we don't need to beg nobody to talk up for us. We could do that ourselves. All cultures speak up for their own culture, and we need to learn how to do the same. You know, and just think about who spoke up when Kyrie thing was going on. Oh, we all black women and black men was advocating, a lot of them, for Kyrie. And look at the big difference that it made. So see, black women and black men have a strong voice. You know, we didn't have to ask no other culture, hey, come help us talk up for Kyrie. Come help us talk up for this. No, we don't need to do that. We could do it ourselves, and it was done with Kyrie, and he is playing now.
Okay, so I understand that part. But ma'am, you don't know who was out there in that fight. You don't know who was out there saying anything. But you want to continue to divide and conquer. You study want to spew this narrative. Oh, us straight black men, us straight black women, we don't need no other culture. Oh, us black men, us black women, like we're the trans. You're talking about a trans situation, and you're sitting here with her photo or her tweet up, and you're clearly discarding her. You're not trying to include us into the conversation. You want to divide the trans community. From observation, let's get into it.
And did that what fourth apology, but he didn't want to do it. It was very much forced or whatever. But it's all cool. A lot of people still have his back, regardless. But the thing is, he's back playing. And black people and black women and black men, they raised a lot of concerns when it came to that situation with Kyrie and other situations. And it makes
Okay, so now I want to throw Flame in here because Flame is very controversial, and Flame, I feel like, give these type of people the goal to say whatever it is that they want, to describe a trans as Flame. They go off of Flame's characteristics or what Flame puts out there. Flame says is he, she, we. So then when you have people that look at Flame's rhetoric, and I call it rhetoric, when they look at Flame's rhetoric, they want to engage that rhetoric with women like myself that do not refer to me as no he, she, we. Like I don't even, I can't wrap my mind around it. No judgment to her, but I feel like she's a problem. When you want to be called so many things, you give people like this woman the go to go in and to rally up to everybody else to make a difference. And guess what? The only thing they have to say is Flame did it. Flame said it. This is how Flame wants to be recognized. That's Flame. So I'm going to keep Flame up here as he's flaming up rhetoric. Let's get into it.
makes a difference. All we got to do is stick together and do it, you know? So, and Kyrie, he donated $65,000 to Shanquella's GoFundMe, you know? And black women for centuries and for decades, they spoke up for everybody. Always spoke up for other cultures, other situations, spoke up for black men, spoke up for equality, jumping to protect it. Well, black women, you need to slow down, slow it down, slow it down. And we need to pick up our pace with watching out and protecting each other as black.
Where's these rallies at when Tyrone didn't hit Michelle upside her head? That but Tyrone is your brother, and y'all gonna forgive him, and y'all gonna keep it a secret. Let's hold everybody accountable because like, it goes back to the fact of they kept their energy on, oh, it was a trans, but now that you know that it wasn't, what are you doing? Now that you know that the black man that you pumped out and that you raised was there and held that camera and watched. Where's your outrage, sis? Sis, where's that outrage? I really want you to get down to the I want you to get down to the gutter, okay? I want you to get into that gutter behavior, and I really want you to get into it. Let us know how you really feel, And shout out to Flame for condoning this bull mess.
Black women and having each other's back all across this United States. And we also need to have the black men back who have our back. We also need to protect the black men who protects black women. You know, protect those who only protect us and protect black men, like I said, who only protect and watch out for us. So when T.S. Madison said, it's the pick and the choose what I say that offends you from me. She right. Because speaking from a woman's perspective, okay, it's when people pick and choose to be around women, profit off women, speak up for women only when it's beneficial for them. Y'all didn't hear me in the back. It's the pick and choose for that for me. Y'all didn't hear me in the back. Let me say that again.
Well, girl, we needed you on the front lines when Kevin Samuels was around. Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. But sis, we needed you around when he was around. Like, where was you at? What was you ducking and dodging? Huh? Hey, Evolution 101. How are you? Where were you? It's the fake outrage. It's the fake outcries. It's the fake, like, girl, the fake concern. The fake concern. It's given you have your opinion about trans women and you didn't do your research. And that's the problem.
When T.S. Madison said, it's the pick and choose what I say that offends you from me. Okay. Coming from a woman's perspective, it's when people pick and choose what I say that offends you from me. Okay. Coming from a woman's perspective, it's when people pick and choose. It's when people pick and choose to be around women for me, profit off of women for me, speak up for women only when it's beneficial for them. Now that's the pick and choose for me. Yeah, yeah, uh-huh. And I said that in Saucy Santana video when I did a video on that. Please don't continue to spark up beef between trans women and birth black women, birth white women, birth women of other cultures. Please don't make this a trans women versus women. It don't make sense. It's enough room out here for everybody. It really is, without sparking up beef between trans women and women. I mean, come on now. It really is. It's enough room out here for everybody, you know? And um it's just that I was shocked to see that this is escalating. So I'm just asking, please chill, squash this. Rethink everything carefully before starting and escalating a beef between trans women and women. Pay Please pay close attention.
Well, sis, I don't know what rock you've been hiding under. There's a narrative that, trans women, they just hate women. Some women have different experiences with trans. Some trans women have different experiences with biological women. Some women have problems with other women. Are we going to nitpick, or are we going to try to find a common ground, a common resolution? Or are we going to continue to make it a problem? Are we going to come together? Nobody is trying to push you out. Nobody is trying to make you feel like your womanhood does not matter. That's not what is given. Okay? Let's get into it.
What people say when they are mad. People, you got to think about it. See, when people get mad, things come out, and you say, "Oh, I can't believe he said that. I can't believe she said that. I can't believe they said that." See, when people get mad, two things you got to pay attention to is when a person get mad or when a person get drunk. They will tell on themselves. They will come out with things that you will say, "I didn't even know you felt like that," but it's coming truthfully from the heart. So you have to pay attention when it's on Mad Day, what people say on Mad Day. You really do. You got to pay attention to that. You have to pay attention to what people say when they mad. And then it tells you a whole lot about that person, what they say to you when they mad. So this whole situation is out of control. And I want to say rest in peace to Shanquella Robinson. And let's work together just to get justice for her. These people still on the run. Mexico still haven't requested for these parties for questioning. Yeah. And so
Okay, so right here, Auntie is feeling it, honey. The Bulls have allegedly kicked in, honey. She is doing her big one. Honey, she then went off camera, and now she's about to get fired up. I mean, she's really about to tear off into it. So I want y'all to go ahead. I'm gonna give y'all a minute. Go refill your drinks. Go use the restroom. We'll do like a minute and 31. That's what we'll do. Do that, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Hello and welcome. Thank you all for coming by. I really appreciate you. Oh, absolutely. Please like, share, and subscribe. The Goddess Tulsa Show. Welcome. Please like, share, and subscribe. Now is the time to go ahead and get ready for the show. We have some great news for you. Okay? We're going to have a great time. So I really, really, really appreciate you and your dedication to showing up. Gratitude. Don't be afraid to hit that cash app. And don't forget to smash the like button.
All right, and we are back. Let's go ahead and get into the content, guys. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Please share, and please, if you can, engage.
everybody need to stop vacationing over there until somebody gets some answers. But this is not, it's not just only Shanquella that needs justice out here. It's so many of our kids and adults and stuff that are missing throughout the United States are still waiting on justice and haven't got it. So we have to get more on the ball to get justice for all our people in our community. Really do. We really do. It's not just only Shanquilla's case that still is not getting justice. This is happening all over. That the Black community, their children and their family members and things like that, still haven't got justice right to this day. Stuff that done happened 20, 30 years ago still haven't got justice for that person's.
So in that moment, I would be happy that anybody is reporting on the story. It's like, okay, we know what it was given back in the day, but now people are utilizing us people of color, we are utilizing our freedom of speech. Those of us that have channels, we are doing that. So I'm thankful for any and all coverage that's being brought to Shanquella, you know? Then you got her ex-boyfriend coming out trying to get his moment in his glory. Like, this is not the time. This is not the time.
Crime, you know? So what really hurts is how dare people clout chase on a popular trending death because it's a worldwide story or because it's a popular story. So it's like, let me get my clout off this story. Let me add some controversy to her death. Let me overshadow her death and let me get the attention that I deserve. This will be the perfect time for me to add my name into this thing. This will be the perfect time to add my community and my feelings to this thing. We cannot do that, people. Let's stick with the thing in hand. Let's stick with the thing in hand. That's so disrespectful. Ooh, so disrespectful. You know, I don't see how people can clout chase and overshadow this beautiful girl y'all see on this screen, Shanquella Robinson. I don't see how people can overshadow her case, and everybody is chasing clout by trying to be a part of her story and then bought something else inside her story, such as a trans woman versus women, and throw that inside her case. The case is already as complicated as it can be right now. We damn sure don't need that. We don't.
Now, this woman, listen, she is really, in my opinion, this woman is, she got some enhanced courage. I'll say that. She got some enhanced courage. Let's get into it.
We don't. We don't. And we would like for it to stop. We would like for it to stop. Sparking up beef. That's unnecessary. You know? So if everybody wants some clout, clout on finding these six folks here that done ran off after they done left that girl body over there in Mexico. Clout chase on the Mexican government and see how come they haven't requested for these parties to be brought back to Mexico for at least.
So this woman has not read anything. She is just really going in because the update is they do have an arrest warrant for Dejanay Jackson. She was caught on that viral video of laying hands, laying paws, you know? And so, yes, there is information out there. And I wish that this woman would have really called around or asked around about the topic at hand, or at least did her research. That's just like me pulling up a topic and I have no clue about heavy metal, and I'm on here talking to heavy metalists and I just have no clue. You know what I mean? That's what it's like. You just have no clue about the topic at hand, and you're talking to me about All right, guys. So let's have a quick intermission for Shanquella. And actually, what we are about to do is we are about to get into the dessert. Or, you know what, we might have to skip dessert and make it another, everybody get a beverage, Everybody get a Coca-Cola or Pepsi or whatever it is that you do, honey, because it's about to go down. Let's get into it.
you know. And one more thing, and I'm getting up out of here. Who started calling black women sister women? See, that's what I'm talking about right there. Let me speak on that. Who started making this a trend, a trending word to call black women or to call other women sister women? Boy, I tell y'all better stop letting people label you just to satisfy their agenda. You ain't finna call me no sister women. Now, this is what I'm tripping off of right here. Because right here, sister women. Who started this? Who started the sister women thing? Oh, you sister women, where y'all get that from? Oh no, see, I'm real old school, and I can tell you right now, for centuries and decades, we haven't called each other no sister women. So where'd this come from? I said sister women. People trying to start making us call ourselves sister women. You know what's going on here? Y'all better stop letting people just label y'all something just to satisfy their needs or their agendas or something like that. No, 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 no. And y'all see what it says, a fond description of a woman from another woman with whom one feels connected. A chick who is straight up cool, no chatty bullshit. Now look at the meaning to this crap. And then it got the sister woman. a human, specifically one human, of whom is superior to all, superior to all being and living things on earth. So it says a sister woman is superior to all beings and living things on earth. Also, the leader of an excellence. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. Okay. But I'm going to tell you right now, I don't feel
Let's hit the like button. I see that we do have some people that have just come in. I want to welcome you to the show. Thank you so much for coming in. Please hit that like.
Thank you all so much for supporting Queen Tulsa, the show, whether it's a like, a share, a subscribe, a Cash App, a PayPal, or a Zelle. Thank you for coming by and watching the show. And this is your commercial for being acknowledged for just being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Without you, who would be watching? Thank you for tuning in.
All right, yes, thank you for tuning in. Let's get into it.
superior to anyone. I really don't. And I don't think nobody else is superior to anyone. So you call yourself sister woman, what, you superior to all living things on earth? Ain't nobody got that type of So that just tripped me out. Everybody want to label something, but ain't looking at the meaning of it. No, I am not superior to anyone on this earth. That's what's wrong with a lot of people now. They think they're superior than everybody, think they better than everybody. And it don't work like that. It really don't. Ain't nobody no superior than the other one.
All right, so I do want to take this moment to educate in what Mrs. Cafe wanted to put on her menu was, the right information, but she was just so deep in her feelings. She was so deep in the need, to start a beef. And so instead of her doing her research, she put in sister woman instead of cisgender. Cisgender woman. Cisgender, right, is an adjective denoting or relating to a person whose sense of personal identity and gender corresponds with their birth sex. This newfound attention to the plight of Black trans folks by primarily cisgender allies is timely and necessary. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, cisgender is a term that is used to describe people whose gender identity matches the sex they were assigned at birth. For example, someone who was assigned female at birth, AFAB, and identifies as a woman is a cisgender woman. On the other hand, an AFAB person who identifies as a man is a transgender man. Okay. Yeah. And then we'll go right here. What do transgender and cisgender mean? Most people who are assigned female at birth identify as girls or women, and most people who are assigned male at birth identify as boys or men. These people are cisgender or CIS. Some people have a gender identity that doesn't match the sex they were given at birth. For example, they were born with a vulva, vagina, and uterus, but they identify as male. These people are transgender or trans. Transgender is the T in LGBTQ. Trans can also include people who don't identify with strict male female gender roles. Other people who don't identify as either male or female call themselves queer gender or genderqueer. There are other gender identity terms and labels, but don't use don't use terms like transgender, transvestite, tranny, or he, she. They're old fashioned and can be hurtful. It's always best to respect the words people use to describe themselves. So there's literature out there for people, you don't have to be ignorant. Like just go and search just how I did. And even to the sister that was giving her commentary or whatever, not really sure what your vibe was at night, but I will be willing to have a conversation with you, sit down with you, and really figure out who are those trans who are your trans friends that you're going out to these clubs with, and really didn't have a problem with anything that was going on. But guys, I want you guys to sound off in the comments. This concludes our show. I'm your host, Queen Tulsa. This is the Goddess Queen Tulsa Show, and we are out.
Hello and welcome. Thank you all for coming by. I really appreciate you. Oh, absolutely. Please like, share, and subscribe. The Goddess Tulsa Show. Welcome. Please like, share, and subscribe. Now is the time to go ahead and get ready for the show. We have some great news for you. Okay? We're going to have a great time. So I really, really, really appreciate you and your dedication to showing up. Gratitude. Don't be afraid to hit that cash app.